Right. Hi, Amina, and congratulations on the launch of MyPartum. I'm so excited for you.
Hi, Jess. Thanks so much. I'm so excited too. It's going to be great. And
Yeah.
thanks to you.
Well, let's talk a little bit about, let's start with kind of introducing MyPartum, and then I want to kind of go back and talk about the story and the formation a little bit. But first, what is MyPartum for someone who's never heard of it before?
Yeah, so my partum was born out of my own personal postpartum journey. Um, in the depths of postpartum, you oftentimes have people on the outside that want to support, and you oftentimes don't even know what you need to support your body in recovery. And so, um, I created my Partum to kind of bridge that gap to support people. So what we offer are gift boxes for moms that are geared and curated for the postpartum recovery essentials. So items of self-care, items that are targeted directly towards like the healing and the recovery process as well. And some nutrition in there and some little like warmth and hug in a box for mama right after she had baby.
I love that. And the warmth and the hug is such a great way to put that because I've watched you kind of build these boxes and figure out how to put them together and what's going to go in it. And you're so intentional about what you want to include. It's definitely not, just grabbing anything. So tell me a little bit about like when you choose to put a product in there, how you're thinking about that process.
Yeah, it's actually like tried by me. And that in that postpartum period, you're like, I need relief, I need comfort, I need a moment for myself, but you don't always have the bandwidth to think about what it is that you need. And so in that time for myself, I was like doing a lot of Googling, like what will help with this and what will help with that. And there was trial and error. I got some products, during that time that I definitely didn't need and that didn't work. But all of the products that are in the box that I curate are made by moms. They're for moms, they're tested by moms, and I can personally say they actually work and bring comfort. And so, yeah, curated with like what really will bring relief and comfort in the moment in mind, all of
Yeah.
the products. Yeah.
I love that. The whole community of moms kind of coming together, you grabbing all of these resources and delivering it to a mom because that is just it's such a more aligned experience and something that's going to feel so much more accurate for what they're actually going through.
Yeah. And I think that there's like the other piece of, family and friends that maybe haven't been in the postpartum space, but they want to be there. And they also don't want to like overstep or, you know, buy something that's not going to work. And so it's kind of taken that thinking process out for everyone else. And like, here, we already did the work. This is good stuff. You can give it to someone you love and want to be there for. So,
That's
yeah.
great. Love it. So let's talk a little bit about the formation of MyPartum. You mentioned that it, kind of came from your personal experience and you had this you had this idea that kind of grew with you. And then I remember getting on a phone call with you a while ago and you having this like kind of excited, nervous energy telling me
Yeah.
you had this idea, but it was hard at that point, it seemed like to even put the idea into the world. So I want to talk about this journey of starting a business and letting your dream come into reality, and taking those first steps. I think that was a challenging thing that I saw you go through. And yeah, tell me a little bit more about that experience for you.
Oh, yeah. Um, I'm getting the flashbacks of that like nervousness and that excitement bundled all together on our first conversation. I was like, I don't know if this is something I should do, but I really feel it. When the idea of my partum came, it was like this visceral feeling of like, yes, excitement, but also it came with like this big grand idea and a lot of steps. Like that, I don't know, some ideas come and they're just the idea and you figure out the steps, but when my partum came, it like came in this big download of what it could be and what all of the steps would look like. And it was scary because I'm like, wow, this is a lot and I don't know where to start. And also that bit of pressure around like, I really want this to be something big. I want it to help people, like this pressure that was self-induced for sure. And we talked through that together, but it was like, it has to be great, and that was scary, in the moment. But walking through it with you and being like, this can look however it needs to look. It can be small scale. It can be, large scale when we're talking inventory, right? When it comes to a box, it's like, how much inventory should I get ready for? Well, you can just start small. And that was one of the best things that you brought up. You were like, this can look however you want it to. But yeah, that initial feeling is like, oh, where do I start and how do I begin? And I think that MOCA stepped in major for me in that time.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's such a funny thing when you have an idea you're excited about. When it's a passion-driven idea, it can get big so fast, and it gets big out of the excitement. You can see all this potential for things you can do and people you can reach and engage with. And all of that is very exciting, but it can be so daunting sometimes that it stops you from ever even starting it. And thank goodness for the, having that visionary idea, you kind of leap into it anyway and figure out the pieces. And so having those conversations about, yeah, having the business look like what you want it to look like, I think there's a lot of pressure that we're not always aware of, that when we start something, we feel like it needs to be the next big thing and the biggest thing that we can make it. And it can be small and it can fit our lives. And I think it should, it should grow with us, and that's going to be sustainable. So I'm really glad you found a version that feels great for you right now.
Yeah. And with that passion piece of it, it's like, since it is a passion project and it is that exciting, I am starting small and it's so fulfilling because I'm fulfilling these boxes for these women. And I'm like, wow, I know how much this is going to help. And I know that this is just going to make them feel better. And it's this fulfilling piece, whether I'm starting big or small. It's like, whether it's 2 boxes or none right now, it's like I'm curating those pieces and it's so fulfilling to know this is going to someone and it's actually going to help. And so I wish I could have told myself that in the beginning, like, it's all good. Like, you're going to feel so fulfilled just even if you fulfill 1 box with this idea, it's amazing even then. And so, yeah.
I love it. And that really, I think that for me ties into the fact that you're doing this because you love it, because you're trying to. I think the boxes are really one step in everything that your heart is kind of chasing after here and what you're trying to create for people. And those steps are maybe a little bit unknown at that point, at this point, and that's okay, right? We don't need to know exactly how it's going to grow and what that's going to look like. But I feel like getting those boxes fulfilled is accomplishing something that you're trying to do, that you feel passionate about, that is going to come into more ways as well in your business. So can we talk a little bit about like the bigger picture and what you are trying to accomplish, what you want to do, and how you want to reach these moms?
Yeah. Oh man. So that was the download that felt overwhelming in the beginning because it was this sense of urgency to create community for moms in that postpartum time. Postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, just the whole postpartum package that lands on moms hormonally, physically, mentally, emotionally is so real and it's so lonely at times. Because you're in a place where you feel like you want to do it all. You want to be a great mom. You want to show up. You want to do this well. But physically, emotionally, mentally, you're not always there. And there's a lot of space, I would say, in that time for moms to be around each other, to be able to talk to people who have been there, um, that kind of understand how it feels, to make it less taboo. And so I think the bigger picture is creating a sense of community for moms, that not only would be like an inspiration to keep going, but just like building out something that is just there for the journey of motherhood, because it doesn't stop at postpartum. It goes on and on and on. And I'm here, my son is 4 years old, and I still need that sense of community. And so um the bigger picture is just creating that community for moms, and that, something that they can tap into in the middle of the night where, baby's not sleeping, they haven't slept. They can log on to this community where people are talking and, able to support each other. And, in-person meetups and, like some sort of, there's a lot of nutrient, how do I want to say it? There's, ways that the body can be supported through nutritionists, exercise and things like that. And it's in that moment kind of feels like a far reach, and you don't have the energy to go out and seek it out for yourself. And so I would love to be able to be like, here's some options, that you can look into. Here's a nutritionist you can talk to. Here's some exercise plans that you can leech onto. You can talk to this community if you have a question about you're trying to breastfeed and it's not going as well, or your healing process is looking a little different. Here's some people you can talk to about that. Um, and then, yeah. And at the end, like, I mean, I hope that people will come together more. So it's like connecting women, because we're amazing and we're incredible. And moms really do so much and go through so much. So just connecting that, um, connecting that piece together.
Mhm.
So
I'm
there's that bigger community piece, I think, in
Yeah.
addition to the tangible support in a box. It's like, it goes beyond that for sure.
Yeah. No, that's so great. I think that's such a wonderful vision that you have. And we all need community. And especially as we're kind of going through hard situations in life, to find people that have commonality and that have gone through a similar experience can just mean everything. So I think that is a wonderful thing that you're building. And the thing about building communities, no matter what type of community you are building, is again, I think you get the big picture in mind of what it could be, and you try to create that from the beginning. But the fact is that communities start with individual connections. You're building them one at a time and kind of growing from there, and that's always how it's going to go. So the fact that you have this tangible aspect now that you can reach people and make a difference and start to kind of build your community in that capacity is just a lovely way to do it, that also complements and serves your life with your 4-year-old and the things that you have going on, to be able to not, create something sustainable for you as well.
Yes, I totally agree.
That's
Yeah.
great. Well, wonderful. So, tell me a little bit about what you're excited about right now with launching, and how this kind of lights up your day to day. This is something we've been talking about a lot.
Yeah, I know. There's that piece that we've talked about where you start doing something that you're passionate about and you get this sense of energy that wasn't there before, even though you're busy and you're like, man, I am tired, but I'm energized because I'm so passionate about what I'm doing. And I think something cool right now that I'm kind of leaning into is I had the idea, okay, there's postpartum. Let's try to make a universal box where it kind of is, you know, it's not filled with a vaginal birth or a C-section items. It's kind of something that could be for all. But as people are coming to me with need for the box, I'm finding, wow, like there's more ways to pack a box, and there's more boxes than just the one or two I was thinking of. Yeah, because there's so many different postpartum recoveries.
Mm.
And with that, like the wheels are turning of like how to support each postpartum recovery and have an option no matter what it looks like, whether it's loss or, vaginal birth or a C-section or, and there's so many different ways. And so I'm really excited to kind of get into that and not just be a one size fits all scenario, just to like get into the details of curating something that's special for each experience. And so that's like where I'm at right now. It's energizing and getting the website together. I mean, that's been having that tangible piece where it was just an idea and then it's now coming to life and I can click on it and I can, see it with my eyes and people can purchase it. It's just a wonderful piece of excitement as well. It's like this dream is coming to reality. This passion is actually happening. I'm feeling it. Um, and yeah, I am busy. I'm very busy, but my partum is just this piece of energy for me, where I look forward to the time that I can spend on it in the day. And yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited about doing this, and it feels good to be doing work that you're excited about. Um, yeah, it's the only work I want to do.
Yep, and I think that excitement really comes through in how you interact with people through MyPartum, through your website. It's just really obvious that you enjoy what you're doing and you're doing it out of love and excitement, which is just such a wonderful thing.
Thanks, Jess. I
That's
know you
great.
do the same, so you inspire me.
Thanks, Mina. Well, I'm really excited for you. Thanks for taking time to share a little bit more about MyPartum, and I'm excited for you to grow however this looks like and build your community.
Thank you. I'm excited too. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely.